Can you maybe talk a little bit about what an adequate guest worker program actually looks like? Kind of articulate that a little bit.
Well, from our standpoint, number one, the H-2A program is not an adequate guest worker program. That's number one. Number two, we have, we don't know how many, anywhere from 500,000 to 900,000 probably migrant workers working in agriculture who have, while they have documentation, that documentation is false. And so they're in the shadows, sort of. And so what we think an adequate guest worker program needs is we need to be able to provide a market-based at-will employment or contract employment with workers who have visas, who are here legally, who are out of the shadows, if you will, but have visas that allow them to work in agriculture. We need two key principles we need is one, portability, and that gets to this at-will provision where, a worker, just like a domestic worker, you can work for an employer, an ag employer, and, either if you're not happy there, you can maybe get higher pay somewhere else. You have the ability to use that visa to work for another employer. That's the portability. You also, we have a requirement for future flow. Those going back to 1986, we realized what happened where we upgraded people who were here illegally to a legal status. Those workers left agriculture, and then there was no future flow. Well, that future flow was accommodated through the workers that continually come across the border that want a place to work, make some money, and send it back home, generally to Mexico, but to some other countries too. And so portability, future flow, having the ability to be at will and or contract for those growers who need the certainty of a contract situation, and then also do that in a manner then that's out in the open where the workers have the type of, from the worker welfare standpoint, if you will, they have the types of protections that they would need to be sure that they have the same opportunities as domestic workers to work and earn a wage.